The Apostle Paul, in his first epistle to the Corinthians, which is maybe the 7th epistle he wrote, about 53 or 54 CE, in the 13th chapter, he speaks something very profound. He says, "When I was a child, I spoke like a child. I thought like a child. I reasoned like a child. But when I became a man, I put aside childish ways." And in my work on this channel, and as I progress through life, I recognize the fact that life is like a staircase. We grow from one pedestal to the other, one staircase to the other, one dimension to the other. I believe that life offers us opportunities to progress. And personally, looking at my life, I noticed some progress through time. And that is what experience should do to us. Experience should mold us and make us progress from one level to another. And that is why, and I really talk about my journey through Rise Up Society as one of the champions of the vision. I refer to that a lot because it is something verifiable. You could go to my videos and just listening to my speech, that the words that I uttered about 6 years ago are pretty much different from the words I'm uttering now. The approach to issues 6 years ago has changed. I remember 6 years ago being quite emotional about things. I could not contain myself. I couldn't really stomach crap. And it was just a no. And I was a bit physical. I wanted to do things and get into people's faces and tell them as it is. But 7 years down the line, and now I'm so mellowed up. And I've realized that emotional energy doesn't change anything. And I've realized that, shouting at people doesn't change them. And above all, I've realized that you don't change people. You can only influence them. But you're not going to change anybody, even your own child. You cannot change them, you can only influence them. And this kind of wisdom and revelation comes to me through change, gradual change that comes with experience. And there are things I would do and now I can't do them. I grew up, and sometimes back I would shout at some things, but now I just smile at them. From shouting to smiling. Because I believe there is progress through life. And I am a work in progress. I'm a work in progress. I'm not finished yet. And it's okay to be a work in progress. And a lot of us, we grapple with a lot of things. And what we think we should be doing, we find ourselves not doing that. And sometimes we get a bit frustrated because you want to now become a man, an adult, mature adult, so that the childish things are no longer a bother, are no longer a factor around you. And you get to comprehend these things so succinctly with that notable precision. Talk about pain. You come to really understand pain and temptation, and you know how disturbing they are. But when they come to you, you still get frustrated. I know what pain is meant to do. When a hater does things that hurt me, I understand that that is pain, and yet it is still hurting. And I still get frustrated. And so, as a work in progress, we must allow ourselves to grow, to progress through life. And I cannot really tell when we reach that ultimate where we can really call ourselves, I'm now mature. You see, I'm now a man, and I've set aside childish things. I think what the Apostle Paul is talking about is not a man like, being a juvenist. He's talking about that completeness. And the paradox with life is that the older you grow, sometimes the more childish you become. That's the paradox of life. The more you learn, the more you unlearn. The more you know, the more you don't know. The more you grow, the more you seem to digress. And it's just the nature of life. So, what is this life's journey? How do we describe it? I don't really know. What I only know is that we are a work in progress, me and you. And we have a purpose to live for every single day. As we wake up, we must wake up with that cognitive function in our heads that we are alive, and a lot of the people dropped dead and they are not going to rise up with us. But we rose up that morning to fulfill a certain purpose that is not ours, but the purpose of God for our lives. When we wake up with that open heart, we live in that freedom. Our life is freed to flow. It's not clogged in some container. A lot of us have really clogged our lives into some container, and it doesn't flow because we're just there. Some of us think we have really arrived, and yet that is not true. Nobody has arrived. Maybe the person who just got to the cemetery 6 feet under can claim to have arrived. But we are all a work in progress. And because we are a work in progress, we should never allow anybody to poke holes through the steps of our lives. There are things we do through life, very stupid things. And why are they stupid? Because they precede the next level. And we go through things, and when we're done and we've moved to another level, it means we are operating at that level. And what happened at this level must not be brought to this level. And what is happening at this level should not be taken over to that level. It's progress. Progress. Getting new grace. So, just to encourage us as we continue building our camaraderie, as we continue knitting together through social media, that we may gain this understanding of where we are going, which will really put us in a better position to stomach each other, because we are just so scattered, we are very different. And what can only bring us together is understanding. When we can create that understanding between us, more than everything else, it is the understanding that we will have about each other that shall knit us together. With that understanding, we will know that we are all a work in progress, that we are all childish, we are, growing, we talk like children, and we think like children, and we reason like children. But it shouldn't be taken to the next level, so that whatever you were saying last year should not be the same way you do it this year. There has to be change, and just let us flow, let our hearts just flow out to others. And I believe this is the purpose of God. He doesn't really expect us to be perfect very soon. In fact, He knows we will not be. He knows we are human beings, and He's still willing to deal with us in this state. And let us keep on pushing and pushing, and we are in safe hands. Let the ones who curse. Let the ones who judge do the judging. But let us live in understanding that we are a work in progress, and we are not yet there. Subscribe, stay tuned, because more is coming. Thank you.